All right, I think this should be the last step in getting your environment set up now to actually compile RTEMS applications. Uh, you have to actually set two what are known as environment variables for the shell that we're running. We're running in the RTEMSSys environment, a bash shell, and you have to set two environment variables appropriately in order to compile your RTEMS applications. So I've just opened up a MinGW64 shell, and I'm in my home directory, and you can find your home directory just by typing pwd. That stands for print working directory. And this is again my RTEMSSys or MinGW64 home directory. And every time you open a window, it will automatically execute some commands from what's known as a startup file. And that startup file is in your home directory. If I do an ls, I just see this RTEMS directory that I've created and no other files. But if I do an ls-a, I'll see that there are several files here that start with a period. These are hidden files in the Unix world. They're not hidden in any sense of providing any sort of security. They're just hidden in the sense that they don't show up in a normal directory listing, so they don't clutter up your standard directory listing. These startup files, these dot files or configuration files, hold configuration information for a bunch of different applications. You'll see there's some for VI here, some for Python, but the one we actually need to change the contents of is this .bash_profile file. That is, the commands in that file are actually executed every time we start up a bash shell, which will be automatically started up every time we open up a MinGW64 window. Now I could use VI to edit this file directly from my MinGW64 environment, but I'm assuming most of you are not familiar with using VI. So instead, I'll use a Windows text editor to edit the file. I'm going to use Programmer's Notepad. Again, you have to understand the mapping between the RTEMSSys environment in terms of folder names and the Windows environment. But again, my particular home directory is on the C drive, users AR63 RTEMSSys64, and then I've got to open up this -profile file. So again, you want to use a text editor, not a word processor, to do this. I'm going to navigate actually to that location. It's under, well, my C drive, users, AR63, and then RTEMSSys64, and I'll see all the files listed here. The one I'm interested in is the .bash_profile file. A lot of the lines in here actually start with a £. These are comment lines. What I need to add to this file is, and you can actually add these anywhere in this file, you need to add these two lines, the one that starts with path and then the one that starts here with export. So write these down. I'll actually copy these onto the web page where you're watching this set of videos, so that you can cut and paste them from the web page into this file. The first one is modifying the path environment variable. This tells the shell where to actually find executable files. It's a colon separated list of directories. So this syntax, path equals, I'm actually prepending a directory to the existing path. $path represents a reference to the existing path. So this will modify the current path by prepending a file. So again, this has to be done every time I start up an RTEMSSys64 shell or window. so that in this particular directory is where all the cross compiler is located. And then the make file actually references a particular make file that's in a folder, and we have to set that up appropriately. That's the RTEMS make file path. And the way we've installed the software, that needs to be set equal to /c opt RTEMS kernels 4.11.3 /i386 RTEMS 411 /PC86. And if you actually browse to that location using Explorer, I think you'll find a file there called makefile.inc for include. So you have to make this modification to this file. I've already typed these in previously. Okay, so we'll save this. Again, it should be present in. Now, these won't be set, these environment variables won't be set or modified until we open up a new MGW64 window. So what you'll need to do is actually close this window, open up another one, okay, and then now if you do echo $path, you should see that a colon separated list of directories. And now first in that directory list is the directory that we just added in our .bash profile, the copt RTEMS tools 411 bin. And then also if you echo RTEMS, what was the name of makefile _inc, what was the name of that? less.bash profile. Try that again. The name RTEMS makefile path. So let me go back up here. Makefile path. If we echo that, we'll see that that's now set appropriately. And again, this is the directory that we typed into our .bash profile. So now those are both set up correctly, and so now we should be able to call our cross compiler that we'll be using to build RTEMS, our RTEMS applications. It's a special version of GCC that's built to run under Windows and then produce RTEMS executables to produce our RTEMS operating system. And so it's a special version of GCC. It's called i386-RTEMS411-GCC. And then I'll just call it with the -v option. And you should get some output like this that indicates that the shell has been able to find the compiler, and then this is just some configuration information on that particular compiler. Again, this is actually in this first directory now that's in our path, tools 411 bin. So if I do a directory listing on that folder, I'll see that this i386-RTEMS411-GCC, where is it? GCC.exe is right there. And that's the compiler we need to use to build our RTEMS application. Now, you have to do this for every different machine under which you do development. So if you switch between different computers in the classroom, you'll actually have different home directories, different bash profile files, and so you'll have to actually make these changes on every different machine you use. If you're doing development on your own laptop, you'll only need to make the change once. For every different machine, you only have to make it once. But these are changes that need to be made in any different home directory, essentially anytime you do development on a different machine. So if you're using a laptop at home and then using a classroom computer during class, you'll need to make these changes on both machines. Okay, and then I think that's it. I think we're all set now, so that we can actually start writing our RTEMS operating systems applications.